User Pranina, Understanding Time Taken to Manifest Anything, and Bridge of Incidents. I was asked this question by a lot of people, so I thought it would be better to make a post instead of replying individually. There are two opposing ideas that are often discussed on the sub about the topic on time frames. There is one that says that manifesting does not take any time at all. And there's another that says each manifestation has its own appointed hour. What was Neville's stance on this? Quoting, "I do not expect, after a certain conception, that child will be born tomorrow. The vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait. It is sure, and will not be late." Another quote, "Everything comes on time, but we do not know the time interval because we do not record the conception." And in another book, How to Manifest Your Desires, Chapter 3, another quote, "If I could completely saturate my mind with one sensation and walk as though it were already a fact, I am promised, and I cannot find any denial of it in this great book, that I do not need more than a 3-day diet if I remain faithful to it. But I must be honest about it. If I change my diet in the course of the day, I extend the time interval." Another quote, "You ask me, but how do I know about the interval? You yourself determine the interval." Ending of the quotes. So, why is there a contradiction here? Or is there even a contradiction? Here's how I interpret it. Time taken to manifest anything equals A. Time for your own subconscious mind to accept the idea plus B, time taken for it to be made aware in your conscious awareness. So time taken to manifest anything equals A, time taken for your own subconscious mind to accept the idea, and B plus B, time taken for it to be made aware in your conscious awareness. So 1A, time taken for your own subconscious mind to accept the idea. This is the step that most people have trouble with. They are so controlled and programmed by their conscious mind that it rejects any new ideas that don't fit your existing beliefs and assumptions. Remember, the conscious mind is like the gatekeeper of the subconscious. Conscious mind is the logical mind. It's a collection of all your previous experiences, beliefs, perceptions you hold and believe as true. That's why this step takes the longest for people. Each time you react or fall into your old beliefs, you're extending your time interval. Persisted assumptions will eventually bypass the conscious mind and enter the subconscious. But once it is impressed, things start rolling, and a bridge of incidents start almost instantly. 2. B. Time taken for it to be made aware in your conscious awareness. From the time it's impressed on the subconscious mind to the time it's made aware in your outer world, there's always an illusion of time. This time interval can vary anywhere between a few minutes, a few hours, or even a few years. This depends entirely on your state. When you combine these two things, you'll realize what Neville is talking about. There's not really a contradiction to what he says. Everything comes in its own time because we don't know when the idea gets impressed on the subconscious mind. And the state of your mind also determines the duration it takes to be made visible to you, the bridge of incidents, or just gestation period. We do not know how long the bridge of incidents would take because we only know the cause and effect. In other words, a certain way of thinking leads to certain results, but never how it works, meaning we do not know what happens behind the scenes because we do not have the source code to decode it. The only thing we know for sure is that if our state of mind is closer to our desired state, the time it takes is always the shortest possible time. To understand the bridge of incidents a little better, it's sort of like Google Maps. Let's say you want to go to your desired location B. First, the map tries to locate where you are, your present state. Let's call this location A. Based on this, it calculates the shortest possible distance from A to B, the bridge of incidence, based on a numerous number of factors which we do not know. But we do know that it would take the shortest possible time. Now, once we start traveling, let's say midway you change your mind and take a diversion, a detour when you react to circumstances. What happens? The duration to reach your destination automatically increased. And it still depends on how far you moved away from your desired location. Again, even now, like before, the maps compare your present position and your desired destination, and it still gives you the shortest path. It always will, because that's how it's designed. Also, another factor that determines the time duration is the traffic, which is your doubts and your anxiety and things like that. For example, Bill Gates can manifest $1 million in a single day because that's his state, a wealthy mindset. A poor person to manifest the same money might take a lot longer because of his state. Unless he has an extremely good understanding of the law and unshakable faith, this would change his state. The bridge of incidents will take a lot longer than it took for Bill Gates, so it's always about the state we're in. But what if your state is closer to the desired state, and you don't take a detour anywhere, and there's absolutely no traffic? The time taken is the fastest. That's exactly what we should do to get our desires in the shortest possible time, the bridge of incidents. 1. See things from a different perspective and always focus on what you want. This way of thinking will put you in a state of mind that's closer to what you want. Example: the difference between a $100 bill and a piece of paper is how we perceive both. One is valued a lot more than the other, even though they are both just made from paper. The value comes from our perception, from our conscious mind. So it's just your perception that's preventing you from manifesting the $100 easily. 2. Do not react to circumstances. Just observe them and know that they are just the shadow or the effects of your old beliefs. Cause. 3. Do not entertain doubts. Persist in the assumption of the wish fulfilled. Each time you doubt, it slows you down. So we've discussed how to reduce the duration, time B. We have discussed how to reduce time A, time taken for your own subconscious mind to accept the idea. The only thing that blocks our desired imagined scene, our mental diet, is our conscious mind. How to bypass this? That's where SATS comes to your rescue. The state akin to sleep, the sleepy, drowsy state, puts the conscious mind to rest. Any thought, feeling, any imagined scene during this time interval gets impressed easily on the subconscious mind. That's why Neville and a lot of other teachers keep suggesting this time. That's how we reduce time A. SATS. I hope this post helped you understand time frames. This is just my interpretation and understanding of it based on reading different books and from my own experience. I've seen some unbelievable things happen in a matter of hours, and I've also seen some simple things taking a month to manifest. I've also tried manifesting in a desired time frame, and honestly, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So, can you really manifest something in a time interval? Theoretically, yes. But again, it always depends on us. In simple words, if your desires feel normal or boring, as Neville said, when it feels natural to you, you get it the fastest. Next post by user Pranina. entitled For People Who Are Manifesting Their SP and Other Things. This is filed under miscellaneous. It's a bit disheartening to see so many people struggling with manifesting, be it their SP or anything else. It's always the same reason. Each time you react to what you experience on the outside, you're being controlled and programmed by the outside world. What you should do instead is to program yourself from within, because everything comes from within. People overcomplicate this. They constantly look for signs and reassurances. So I thought instead of my usual detailed long posts, a simple analogy would make you understand it well. Because sometimes simple is better. If you want to bake a cake, you put the mixture inside the oven to bake. But if you're constantly doubting and opening it every minute to see if it's done, well, it'll never be done if you do this. Have faith in the oven to do its work. How do you develop such faith? 2 ways. 1, know and understand how the oven works. The cake gets baked even when you can't see it. Number 2, try baking small things first to learn before trying to bake a cake. Remember, your only job is to prepare the cake mixture and place it in the oven. The rest will be taken care of by the oven, because that's its job. Happy baking. Next post by user Pranina. Changing an existing belief. How to do it. Tips and techniques. To manifest something, all you need to do is to impress the subconscious mind that you already have what you want. But if you have existing opposing beliefs that are so strong that your conscious mind keeps rejecting your new thoughts immediately, what do? This is something most people have trouble with, so I thought I'd make a post to help such people. The reason your conscious mind rejects it immediately is because the new idea is directly opposite to your existing assumptions. One of the many responsibilities of your conscious mind is to protect you from things that threaten you. So any thought that does not fit into your existing beliefs will be seen as a threat and will be thrown out. It's like going from 0 to 100 miles per hour in a few seconds. Most likely you will crash. So how do we approach this? We ease into it. Let me explain. But what exactly is a belief, and how is it formed? A belief equals a repeated thought pattern. A repeated thought pattern over time will be accepted by the mind. How does this happen? Most of our beliefs were formed during our childhood. Maybe a guardian figure, someone you trust, an adult, said something about a subject and you accepted it without questioning because we were basically a blank slate. Now, after you accepted it, the first time you encountered a situation regarding that subject, the only thought you referred to was the one instilled by that authoritative figure. You focused on it unconsciously. Now, what you focus on grows. So you saw and encountered more and more things, circumstances that fit this assumption, and each time you saw proof of this assumption, it reinforced the thought, and this cycle kept repeating until this became a strong belief. See how you eased into it with just a single thought? So with this knowledge, why not use it to our advantage and replicate the same process? Step 1. If you want to get rid of the existing belief or assumption, challenge the belief and find one thing that disproves your belief. Just one is enough. For example, if the belief is something like you have to work hard to make money, you can't jump right in and force yourself to think it's easy to earn money. So challenge the assumption like this. Are there people who make money without working hard? You'll always find one. Step 2. Start dwelling on this. Each time you encounter a situation regarding the subject, Just think and focus on this one thing. Over time, this will slightly shift your perspective and you'll see two more things that disprove your existing belief. Start dwelling on those two. So if there's one person who earns money easily, then there must be more. Focus on this and you'll start seeing more. Step 3, you'll slowly start encountering situations where it supports your new thoughts. React to them. This reaction will act as a feedback mechanism that will reinforce this thought. So now you even come across more of such people in your life where they don't really try so hard and yet they make a ton of money. You react to this thinking, holy shit, these people earn so easily. If they can do it, what's stopping me? Step 4. This will multiply over time, and once you've reached a place where you no longer feel a strong resistance towards your desires, use and apply Neville Goddard's techniques, SATs, or any technique you prefer. Your conscious mind wouldn't reject your new ideas like before because you've reached a neutral place. This makes it easier to impress the subconscious mind. Why? Because it's easier to swim with the tide than against it. And with persistent assumptions and the techniques you use, this will harden into fact, and you would have shifted your belief and your state. Ultimately, you'll manifest your desires. I hope this was helpful. Next post by Pranina is understanding what you're truly manifesting. This is tips and techniques. One of the reasons why people fail to manifest is that they're trying too hard to manifest. That's because they fail to understand what they're truly manifesting. And they also have trouble in knowing that if they've done it right or not. This post might help you with both. Ever wondered why all metaphysical and spiritual teachers kept saying everything is within? Think about this simple thing which you might have overlooked. When you successfully manifest any desire, what is the true end result? The manifested desire itself or something else? Let's say you manifested a lot of money and now you're debt free. What follows after this? You feel relief and peace. Let's say you manifested a car. The result, you feel relief and accomplishment. What if you manifested a house? Result is you feel relief, accomplishment, and thankfulness. When you manifest an SP, you feel happy, peaceful, thankfulness, and relief. Do you see a pattern here? The end result, no matter what your desire is, it's always feelings. And feelings are something within us. That's why all the metaphysical and spiritual teachers said, everything is within. Everything comes from within. So following that thought pattern, when you think about it, what you're truly manifesting is not your desire, but it's feelings. Feeling is the manifestation. This tiny shift in perception will change the way you look at the manifesting process. How can we use this simple knowledge to our advantage? Each time you do SATs, lullaby, or any technique for that matter, when you have successfully managed to feel relief, peace, thankfulness, accomplishment, logically speaking, you just manifested the end result. You can use this as a sign or feedback mechanism that you did the process perfectly, since you manifested the end result with no effort. So how long should you continue doing this? When do you know you've done it enough? When the feelings you manifest after doing your technique start to naturally move from stage 3 feelings to stage 4, refer to that earlier post entitled How I Manifested Winning a Local Contest and Won. I guess it's got the link here and I was just reading from that. To know about the natural stages of feelings. What do you naturally do if you've already manifested the end result and you've reached stage 4 feelings? You just drop it and move on, knowing it's done. But what about manifestation in 3D, you ask? Remember, that's not your job. Your job is only to manifest in 4D, i.e., feel the feelings of the wish fulfilled. It's the law's job to start a bridge of incidents in the 3D outer world to get you what you have already manifested in the 4D. So relax. Seeing the manifestation process with this perspective has helped me tremendously, since I get an immediate feedback to know if I did a session correctly and when I should finally let it go. For newbies who don't know what's 3D and 4D, refer to this post. 3D equals your outer reality and 4D equals your imagination. Hope this helps everyone. Oh, that post he's just referring to is one of his earlier posts, How I Understood Imagination Creates Reality and Knowing It's Done. And then he edits after that. He says, hope this helps everyone, and then edit. For those people who are debating what feelings actually mean, what that word feelings actually means, read my previous post on feelings and its stages. Emotions and feeling it real, knowing are one and the same thing. Only difference is in the intensity and how it varies. You and I are still talking about the same thing. Feelings, we're just talking about different stages of it. Okay, next post by user Pranina is Manifesting Without Feeling Anxious, a detailed post. This one received silver, so it must be good. Tips and techniques. He notes at the top, this is an extension of my previous post, the one I just read. Maybe reading that, or he says, maybe reading that post before this would make more sense, which is what we're doing. So why am I writing this again? Because I observed that the word feelings is still misinterpreted when it comes to Neville's work, and that's why I feel the point of the post was missed. So I thought I'll clear the confusion first and then explain in detail how understanding this changes your perspective of the manifesting process. It seems people consider emotions, feeling it real, and feeling of knowing as completely different things on the sub, which is not true. They are all just one and the same. They are all feelings. The difference really lies in their intensity and not their nature. Consider the example of controlling the temperature of a room. If I increase or decrease the temperature beyond an optimal level, we label them as hot or cold. Now, the only difference between the labels hot and cold and optimal is only in their intensity. But all three things still belong to the same category of temperature. Feelings are exactly like this. Only the intensity differs. Depending on the nature of your desires, some manifestations make you feel happy, some make you feel relieved, and some make you feel like nothing, or feel nothing, like the ladder exercise. But when persisted, they all eventually will lead you to just the feeling of knowing it's done. So whether you have emotions or directly reach the feeling of knowing, whether you're manifesting a house or an SP, the end result of any manifestation is always feelings, not the desire itself. So, like I said in the previous post, feeling is the manifestation. You can use this knowledge to your advantage. Why do many people feel anxious about manifesting? It's because they see SATs and other techniques as something they have to do now to get something in the future. Read that again. Why do people feel anxious about manifesting? It's because they see SATs and other techniques, the techniques that we do, as something they have to do now to get something in the future. Looking at the manifesting process this way will cause an unconscious thought to sneak into the back of our head that it'll take time or it'll happen in the future. You're pushing away your manifestations into the future without even realizing it. How can you fix this? Stop concentrating on the outcome and start focusing on the process. What do I mean by this? See your SAT sessions as something that's happening right now. You're not doing this to get something in the future, but rather you're doing it to get something right now. This is where knowing feeling is the manifestation helps you big time. Each time you do a SAT session, completely immerse yourself in the scene. Think as if you just opened the door and encountered another reality. Be in that reality and enjoy it because it's happening now. When you do this, you'll achieve feelings of joy or feelings of relief and accomplishment, or just feeling it real depending on the nature of your desires. Congratulations, you literally just manifested the end result. You can use this as a clear, bright line, a feedback that you did your job perfectly. Getting an immediate feedback that you did it correctly eliminates anxiousness. You can now just move on with your day or go to sleep with this feeling. So what to do during the day? Neville suggests you do nothing. Just get busy with your day. But if that's not enough, here are a few tips that I use that might help in reducing anxiety. 1. At times during the day, I try to recollect the feelings of accomplishment that I achieved in my previous SAT session, like how I would recollect memories. This gives me assurance, and I carry on. 2. When I see things that are opposite to my desire, I think of it like I already entered a time machine and saw the future, so everything that's happening is a bridge of incidents that's leading to the inevitable. I love that, the inevitable. Number 3, another way I look at it is something like my fancy watch that I rarely wear. I keep it locked away on most days. I wear another one every day. So when I don't see my fancy watch, I think of it like I still know I have it at home. So how long to continue your SAT sessions? Is there a clear, bright line to determine when to drop it? Yes. When the feelings you achieve after each SAT session naturally reduces in its intensity and reaches the point where you feel your desire is now normal to you, when the feeling is just a knowing and certainty, that's when you drop it and move on to another desire. This way of focusing on the process rather than on the outcome will eliminate all anxiousness. And do not care about the 3D manifestation, the outcome. Remember, when you order something online, your job is done. The logistics of delivering your order to you and how to do it is taken care of by the seller or the company. Does this work? Yes. I've tested it. This way of looking at the manifesting process was inspired by an interview I saw of a very popular sportsman. When asked what his secret to success was, he said he always focuses on the process rather than the outcome. Meaning he doesn't care what tournament it is, what match it is, be it the finals or the entry-level match. He only concentrates on how he plays when he plays. Just the process, just the technique. This helped him to stay calm and in control in every match. I thought, why not use the same thing for the manifestation process? Ever since I started focusing on just the process of my manifestations, I've been anxious-free. Ever since I started focusing on just the process, my manifestations have been anxiety-free. I know this was long, but I hope it helps you as it helped me.